bright lights, any night. Moving to the sound, heartbeat beats so loud. Feel the rhythm now, neon signs all around. Pulsing through the haze, lost in music space. Take my hand, let's blaze. Follow me, let's fly.
Go again. Hi, mamas. Welcome to my channel Beyond the Scars, Birth and Fate. My name is Ijoma Opara. Today, based on the title of the video, which is my honest C-section story, faith, fear, and healing. So today I'll be sharing my personal C-section story, not just the physical part, but also the emotional roller coaster that comes with it, the fears I carried through it all, and how my faith was the only thing that held me together. Yeah. If your mom, especially an African mother, you probably understand how little we talk about birth trauma, especially when it comes to C-sections. There's so much silence around it, so much shame sometimes. But today we are breaking the silence. We need to speak up more about these things. We need to speak up, shout it out loud. I'm trying not to scream because of my baby is out there in the living room. So let me start with my pregnancy and my expectations. I've always imagined natural birth. I've prayed for it. I did pray for it. I dreamt of it. Not, dream, but I dreamt of it. But God in his infinite mercy had other plans. He had other bigger plans for me. And I didn't understand at first. I still don't understand. But right now my understanding would be, him wanting me to be alive, to be here, speaking to you about these topics. My fear for the surgery, when the doctor, the moment the doctors came and checked me, because I was induced at some point. They used the catheter, then they used also a medication. I don't really know what it's called, but baby wasn't ready to, pop out. It was still half dilated. But the moment the doctor said, IJ, you'll be having an emergency C-section. Why, you'd ask? Because they didn't want the baby to stay till the due date for the fear of her getting, too big for me to push and causing a tear. So they, in order to avoid that, they induced me earlier, 2 weeks ahead. And when they told me about the C-section, I froze. I froze. I was like, whoo. Plus the pain already I was having from the, contractions. I was already, calm down. Yeah. I didn't ask much questions because they were well detailed about, what they were going to do, the next step. I know in some situations people have said, oh, they thought something was wrong. Did I do something wrong? Why me? Why must I go through this phase? But I wasn't even thinking straight, how much more asking questions. So I wasn't thinking at all. all that came to my head was go to the washroom, pray about the situation, come out and tell them I'm ready. Let's start. But you see, in African culture, we often see C-section as a way out. Sometimes a sign that something is wrong with you as a woman. And the pressure is as real as it can be. It's real. So at that point, I wasn't even thinking on those African culture. This one said, that one said. What was in my mind was let my baby come out safe and let me as a mother, come out safe to care for my child. My hospital experience was, I'd say, was good, because those guys were really, they did their best. Like, God just used them, for me. They did their best. They did the best they could. They were nice to me. One of the nurses, was from Uganda, and she made sure I had the biggest piece, and she provided me with whatever I needed, food, because it was just emergency. So she just, before then, she made sure I ate and all that. I didn't feel dehumanized in any way. Um, people have stories. A lot of people have stories on how hard nurses make them feel, but that wasn't my case. My all that was in my thought was more like, let me just push this baby. We need to push it out. Even me, I'm tired. I'm tired. But at that moment, I went to the washroom, whispered prayers, and sometimes, from time to time, I could say, Jesus, Jesus. I remember, being on the table, and I was like, Jesus, help me, Jesus, save me, Jesus, save me, Jesus, save me. And I think that morning, before the surgery, was where my faith met my fear. you know I remembered reciting or praying with Psalm 91 and Isaiah 41 verse 10, that says, do not be afraid, for I am with you. And that stuck in my head, like it still lives rent free in my head, until date. It's always, I'm with you always. I knew that God didn't promise the process would be easy. He didn't say, don't worry, let me sugarcoat it for you. You will go there, you will deliver, poof, people will just pop up, and you carry your baby, then you go home. No. What he promised was that he won't let me walk the walk alone. He won't let me go through life alone. He won't let me go through these journeys, these critical moments in life, in my life alone. He won't let me walk alone, you know. And he saw through his promise, like it's all played out so cool and fine, and I thank God for that. I thank God for his mercy. I thank God for his love. I thank God for his grace over my life. My scars, my scars and the testimonies. These scars of mine, my tummy is not really that flat yet, but my puffy puff, my belly, which I call it my puffy puff, is still saggy, so it's covering the scar. I won't say I hated my scar. No, I still know. My scar I see it as a reminder of my strength. I see it as a reminder of my journey. I see it as a testimony. If I'm to summarize it, I say it as my testimony that God carried me through it all, that my baby arrived safely, that my body is still strong. And I look at my body and I'm like, man, I'm still sexy. So, so I look at my body, I'm like, yeah, I got it, So my scars tells me, and probably others like you listening to me, of a story of survival, of a story of faith, and a story of grace. And I'll rock this belly with grace. I don't care what people say. I don't care. But I'm gonna rock this belly. I'm gonna rock this this scars like no man's business. So yeah, my scars tells me a deep, great, powerful story and testimony. Whew. And that's about that. So to any of you mamas watching this podcast, if your birth didn't go as planned, if you're carrying shame, If you're scared of that scars, you're not alone. You're not alone through the journey, you know. Your story is not a mistake. Why? Because you telling your story might help encourage others to not feel bad about themselves, not feel bad about their body, not feel ashamed of their body, of who they are. That is your life, that is your personality, that is your testimony. You know, it will rather build people that are weak, you know. My story is not a mistake. My body is not broken. No, no, no. My body is not broken. Like, come on, come on, come on, come on. My body is not broken. And God, you see this God sees you, God loves you, and He's not done with you. He's not done with you in any shape or form. He's not done with you. He's not done with your story. There's more to you, you know, that is still ahead. You know, it's all one step at a time. So at this moment, I would say if you ever feel anyway, you know, if you ever feel maybe you're like me, strong, you know, coming out of it, I'm full of grace. Maybe you're ashamed, maybe your shame can come in any form. Shame can come through people talking down at you, especially from my culture. You know, there are stories of people making side comments, silly comments about this personal beauty, this personal testimony of yours, of you're not woman enough and all that. So if you ever feel certain way, you know, I beg you, and please, for the love of the sisterhood, for the love of God, please share in the comment section. Let's break the silence together. Let's help each other come out of whatever, you know, cage or huddle we are in. You know, don't keep silent about it. Speak up. Let's break the silence together. And please, this brings me to the end of the topic today. Share your thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to read and learn from you, and I hope from my little short video you've learned as well. Please do not forget to subscribe if you want more faith-filled conversations like this around motherhood and African women's stories. I pray you would join me. See you in my next video. Do stay blessed, like, subscribe, and join the sisterhood. Thank you and have a great day.